Yes. What's happening, everybody? It is Friday after the weigh-ins for UFC Vegas 83. This card is going to be headlined by who the hell is headlining this card? Song Yadong and Chris Gutierrez. Bantamweight fight should be a good one. Card's all right from top to bottom. Not a big gambling card for me. Don't have a lot of spots that are really sticking out here, but I definitely do have a greasy four-leg parlay for you guys today. I'm still sick. I am really not getting any better for some reason. It's like day 7 or day 8 of this cold that I've had, and it's beating the hell out of me. It's in my lungs. It's in my head. Um, just not beating it for some reason. My immune system is pretty much undefeated in my life, and right now it's kind of letting me down a little bit. So it's been a light content week for me. We didn't even do a full card breakdown due to the sickness. So, but I am going to give you this parlay. I've got it ready for you guys here. Let me present my screen to you. And we will get down to business on this parlay because leg number 1 is going to be the bet that I made last week that is still carrying over to this week. I don't love the value at this price, but I do like the stylistic read. You know, Steve Garcia is a guy who, when fights are at distance striking range, he gets hit a lot and he hits very hard. I don't really see there being a ton of grappling in this matchup. I think both of these guys are gonna look to strike, and they're gonna look to get each other out of there quickly. 9 total knockdowns in just over 5 minutes of distance striking time for Steve Garcia in his fights. He's been knocked down 5 times, and he's got 4 knockdowns of his own. So I see somebody getting served, somebody getting knocked out early here. Leg number 1 of this parlay is going to be the under 1.5 rounds for Garcia versus Costa, which is currently minus 110 right now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Leg number 2 for this parlay is going to be the fight starts round 2. Yes, in the Shannon Ross versus Park fight. Look, I know that Ross has been knocked out twice in very short order, under a minute both times. But, you know, the thing is that that's just not likely to happen every single fight. Flyweight fights don't finish in round 1 very often at all. And Park, you know, is not a big power hitter for sure. And I know that Aguilar wasn't either, but, you know, sometimes you just got to chalk shit up to a bit of a fluke. We know Shannon Ross doesn't have a great chin, but like if he hadn't have been knocked out by Aguilar in the first round last time around, this would be, you know, minus 300 for this to get out of round 1. I mean, they were talking about how great Shannon Ross's chin was when he came into the UFC. And now he's all of a sudden gonna get knocked out the first time he gets touched by somebody who just doesn't knock dudes out. I don't see it. I see this fight starting round 2 pretty easily. And I really do even like the over 1.5 rounds is plus 160 on BetOnline Sportsbook. I think that's a very bettable line. You just might have to hold your nose here, and you might look like a complete moron like you do sometimes when you're taking these plus money bets. Excuse me. Sometimes you're just not going to get close, but when something is overpriced like this violence is in this fight, I think it's an easy chance to just go the other way and just say this guy's only got to last 5 minutes with the great Hyung Sung Park for this thing to cash. And I think that happens. So if we go up here to round props and we go to start round X at the top here, which is the middle option, we can scroll down here to Hyun Sung Park versus Shannon Ross. Fight to start round 2. Yes, it's minus 115 on DraftKings Sportsbook. That brings us up to plus 256. Leg number 3 is going to be the fight doesn't go to decision for Jun Young Park versus Andre Muniz. This is a striker versus grappler matchup here. You got to believe if this thing gets to the ground, that Muniz is going to be very live to get a submission. And then if it doesn't get to the ground and the fight stays standing, Jun Young Park's pressure and volume and Andre Muniz's glass chin probably leads to a knockout at some point in the second half of the fight for Jun Young Park if Muniz is unable to wrestle and get this fight to the ground. So whether it's a Muniz submission on the ground, whether it's a late Jun Young Park knockout, I do see this fight finishing inside the distance. And minus 225 isn't a bad look. If we look over here on the prop template, this was at minus 200. Now it's minus 225. So definitely some money coming in on the violence props here. But 5 of 7 Munis fights have finished inside the distance, 5 of 9 for Park. So it's definitely a 62.5. 10 of their 16 fights have finished inside the distance. And I think that the nature of this fight is that, no matter where it goes, somebody's going to be very dangerous here. So I do like this fight finishing inside the distance here, minus 225. Will be the third leg of this parlay. We go up to winning. We go up to fight props up here, and we're going to go Munis versus Pack minus 225 here brings us up to plus 415, and we're gonna finish this parlay out on the fattest leg, which is going to be the Song Yadong money line at minus 380 in the main event. Definitely like Song here. He's the harder hitter. I think he's the more likely guy to win minutes in the grappling exchanges, and I think he's got the better UFC wins as well. Looked phenomenal his last time out against Ricky Simon, and even the fight before that, a very competitive fight against Corey Sandhagen, different stylistic matchup, a fight that I thought he was doing very well in, other than the cut that he sustained. That was a very competitive fight. So I feel like if he could be competitive with Sandhagen, he can beat Gutierrez. Minus 380 is wide, but this is why I like to make that the last leg, because now if we do cash the first 3 legs, we can cash out. We can hedge out of this parlay at plus 300 on the Chris Gutierrez money line on another website, and just guarantee ourselves a profit. So this thing is checking in at plus 551 on DraftKings Sportsbook, and if you have Bet Rivers Sportsbook, it's checking in at plus 554, just a slightly better price on Bet Rivers. So if you got Bet Rivers, go do it over there, because you're going to get just a little bit better of a price, and that's the way to do it. But plus 554 on Bet Rivers, plus 551 on DraftKings Sportsbook. That is this week's Greasy 4-leg parlay. Let's see what you guys are up to in the chat here. We got my guy Genova7 in the room. What is happening, man? Always good to see friend of the show Genova in here. We've got my guy Victor De Jesus saying, "Oh yes, what's up, Weezy in chat? Let's cash Greasy 4-leggers. Let's get it, man." We got Winther in the room saying, "Excited for the stream. Hopefully we hit the 4-legger. Been close a few times now." Yeah, last week was the worst one that I've had in a while. Only 2 of the 4 legs cashed. The last couple before that, we had 3 legs cashing pretty consistently before our last hit, which was, I think, 3 or 4 weeks ago. But yeah, we definitely need one of these. Plus 554, not the widest one that I've given out recently, but hopefully this one hits for us. We got Silky B saying, like Frank Zappa said, keep it greasy so it goes down easy. You got that right, Silky B. Let's get it this week, my man. We got Pickle Kush with the flapjack stack. We got Mushroom MMA in the room saying, "What's up, Victor? Best of luck, my brother." What's up, Silky, says our guy Mushroom. Always good to see Mushroom hanging out in here. We got Victor De Jesus saying, "Best of luck to Mushroom." We got Mr. 25 saying, "Hey, Unc, who's your ass shaving for this week?" That's a good question. I don't have an official ass shaving of the week for this week, but if I had to pick one, I would say I think I'd go with Mel Costa over Steve Garcia. I think it's going to be a violent win for him. I think he's going to land big and get him out of there. But I also think that it's a risky one, because Steve Garcia is a guy that hits very, very hard. And if Costa makes a mistake and gets caught by Garcia, he could get slept as well. But I think that's a good pick for a guy that I think is going to get it done violently and with a little bit of panache, and has an opponent that's pretty hittable in there. So I think I would go with Costa if I was to have an official ass shaving of the week this week. We got Joe Banavicius in the room saying, "Let's get this bag." Thanks for hanging out, Joe. We got Jeff K in the room saying, "Feel better." I hope so, man. Dude, I'm going to go drug up big time. I got like some Alka-Seltzer cold and flu. I've got some Mucinex. I'm going to drink a bunch of water. I mean, it's ridiculous. This thing, whenever I get colds, they're gone a couple of days later. This one's holding on like grim death. I'm on like day 8 of this. My girlfriend, who I got it from, she's still not better, and she's like 15 days deep. So It's pissing me off, man. This thing is ridiculous. We got Robert Saladino in the room saying his whole family is sick. Everyone at work is sick. Dude, I know it's going around right now. It's definitely going around. I need some Pedialyte, says my guy Jeff K. Maybe that would be a good idea. I don't think I have any in the house, but I wouldn't mind it. Just anything to just fight this shit. And we got my guy Genova 7 saying, get well soon, Weezy. Hope the wheezing stops. Like, you can hear the wheezing. If you go, gee, I mean, I don't know what the hell is wrong with me. It's ridiculous. We got, holiday season, says Genova. Yeah, it is. I mean, everybody's getting sick. It's just one of those things that the weather changes. It's rough on our systems, but 8 days is entirely too long. We've got Saladino saying thoughts on Smith versus Roundtree. So I think that's another great spot for a fight doesn't go to decision bet. Where do they have that at right now? Oh, I think it's probably juiced, right? Why isn't even on there? They're not even offering a fight doesn't go to decision prop for the Roundtree fight on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they only got 10 fights. That's bizarre. All right, let's see where it is on FanDuel. Yeah, and the parlay was plus 525 on FanDuel, so not as good as it was. Let's see. 525, not as good as it was at 554 or 551. Where is that fight? Khalil Roundtree versus Smitty. To go the distance is minus 400. No, that's too much. I mean, that's way too much. I don't like that. I think Khalil Roundtree probably knocks out Smith, but because Smith is not good at dealing with low leg kicks. He gets hit a lot there. That's going to be something he's going to really need to watch out for against Khalil. But if Smith is able to take down Roundtree and get the fight to the ground, he can absolutely win this fight. He's the much better grappler here. So I think that there's paths for Smith, but I'm staying away from it because there are paths for Smith, but because I don't have a lot of faith in Smith doing what he needs to do in order to win this fight, which is be a proactive wrestler. There's no evidence of Anthony Smith being a proactive wrestler recently in the UFC. So it's one that I'm just staying away from. Yeah. Jeff saying, oof, yeah, you guys could hear my chest there. It's just awful. Winning a 4-leg parlay will make me feel better for sure. There's no question about that, man. Maybe grab an OTC inhaler from Walgreens makes it more bearable. Yeah, I do have a Walgreens right on the corner here. I might make a run over there. It might not be a bad idea. Yeah, and Genova saying people get together, spread stuff. It happens. Get a little Mucinex in you, clear that shit out. That's a great idea, and I think I'm going to do that right now, Genova. So you guys, real quick, leg number 1 of the Greasy 4-leg parlay, under 1.5 rounds for Costa versus Garcia. Leg number 2, fight starts round 2. Yes, for Shannon Ross versus Park. And then we've got fight does not go to decision for Junyong Park versus Andre Muniz. And then we've got the Song Yadong money line as the 4th leg. 551 on DraftKings, 554 on Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Let's cash it, you guys. Let's stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vegas 83. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights. We got Daniel Cover in the room saying, yo, and Iron Turtle smokes everything this weekend. I'm a big fan of the Iron Turtle. I think he gets the job done. I'm picking him. Or who am I picking to win that one? I don't even know. I don't have picks. That's right, because I'm too sick to make all the picks. Next week, early thoughts, Colby fight. I like Colby in that one. I think Colby's style is going to be a lot for Leon Edwards. I don't think Leon's going to get the fight that he wants there. And I think Colby might win that one, but that's going to be the first one that I tape. And I'm probably going to tape it a little bit later on today. Robert, thank you guys for hanging out. Let's stack them high this weekend. Let's gash this Greasy 4-legger and enjoy the fights, and then go into the last card of the year hot and ready to enjoy these fights. We got D Spearman saying at work, what's up, Weezy? What's up, D? Good to see you hanging out in here, man. You guys, let's go. Let's cash this one and go into the last week of the year on a winning streak. I will talk to you guys on Sunday, 6:15 Central Time, Pub Sports Radio for Stat Diggers, my guy, DFS by the numbers. And we're also going to check in tomorrow. I'll probably be on that live stream on Pub Sports Radio for the watch along as well for a little bit if I'm feeling up to it. But you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights, and we will see you next week. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I hope I do feel better. I got to go get some drugs in me right now. We'll see you guys later. Take care.